Today, if you don't program your mind, you will be programmed. So you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, and determined effort to set aside time every day for at least an hour. That's what I do. I listen to something motivational first thing in the morning. The reason I do that is that whatever you listen to in the first 30 minutes when you wake up controls the spirit of your day. Don't go around telling people what your story is. Everybody has a story. 80% don't care and 20% are God, it's you. One of the things I want you to begin doing right now is to take a brave look at your life. Look at your life as it is right now. So let me ask you some questions as you begin to look out on the future in this year. Let's take personal inventory. What has brought you here? As you begin to look at the things that took place this past year, did you get out of it what you wanted? Did you achieve the goals you set out to achieve? What parts of your life or what things you did do you not want to be a part of your life moving forward? Are there any people who might be some dead weight that you need to think about unloading? What have you found through those relationships? Are they more toxic than nourishing, more debilitating than empowering? If so, you've got to make a decision. See, many of us can't move forward because we're not taking a true inventory of our lives. As you begin to look at your emotional, spiritual, and intellectual development, how many books did you read? How many seminars did you attend? How many classes did you take to develop yourself professionally, to improve your craft or your skill? How many new things did you learn? Just take some personal inventory. Just thinking. Begin to know yourself. What are the things from your past that have influenced you right now? What's your philosophy of life? What are your beliefs, things you feel very strongly about? What are some of the things you've picked up along the way that you've been doing for so long you think they're a part of you, but maybe they need to be re-examined and let go? See, a lot of things we do unconsciously because we pick them up somewhere in life. For example, a friend of mine in Chicago, Rhea Steele, has a tremendous Southern drawl. I visited her house for dinner and met her mother. I asked her, where did Rhea get her Southern drawl from? Her mother explained that Rhea's aunts from Kentucky babysat her, and she picked it up from them. What is it that you've picked up somewhere in life that might be a liability to you? What fears or beliefs are you holding on to tenaciously that are no longer serving you? They're no longer allowing your life to work or enabling you to produce the results you want, and yet you're still clinging to them. As we move into a new world, there are old behaviors that just won't fit. What events, circumstances, or people have shaped you? What are the things you need to let go of, things that have caused you pain, stifling your growth and development? As you look at your profession or career, what do you need to do to upgrade your skills or knowledge to remain competitive in the marketplace? As you begin to reflect on yourself and ask these questions. What are you good at? Are you living your passion? Are you living your dream? What do you regard as your greatest personal achievement? What's the one thing others could do to make you most happy? Now consider this. What would you do if you had 1 year to live and were guaranteed success in anything you chose? What would you do if you could live your life over? Get to know yourself. What's one value, one deep commitment from which you'd never budge? What's one cause you'd like to become involved in to make a difference on the planet? For me, working in the Cook County Jail in Chicago gives my life a great deal of joy and fulfillment. Have you found something like that in your life, something you enjoy doing that involves helping others? A friend of mine works with physically handicapped people. She says it's been the most rewarding experience she's ever had. She used to be a constantly depressed individual, always feeling sorry for herself, but it's changed her life. She's now a grateful person who has found something to lose herself in. What's been your biggest setback, failure, or defeat of the past year? What is it about you that if someone really knew, they wouldn't enter into a relationship with you? Now, don't go tell anyone, but once you acknowledge what that is, start working on it and changing it. It's easy to blame the other person, but start taking ownership for where you are. Are you proud of how you've been living your life? Have you explored your natural talents and gifts by enthusiastically trying a variety of activities? Ladies and gentlemen, many of us have so much talent and ability, but we've put it on the back burner or left it aside, never doing anything with it. We had these talents in high school or college or just as natural gifts, but we never brought them out. What are you sitting on? What gifts are you sitting on? Have you resigned yourself to a life feeling that nothing can be done to change your future or circumstances? Have you been afraid to try something different because you fear how people will react or what they'll think? Here are some things I suggest you work on to develop your character, things that will give you personal strength. Webster defines character as the pattern of behavior or personality found in an individual or group, moral strength, self-discipline, fortitude. That's what will be required to manifest your greatness. Now look at yourself. What do you need to do more of or less of? For example, I had to work on being more direct. I used to have a problem telling people what I actually thought because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I learned to say no without feeling guilty. I also became more focused. I used to be a jack of all trades and master of none. One year I decided to focus on one thing and do it well. I looked at all my talents and decided my strongest one was my ability as a speaker. That's the one I'm going to focus on, but I'm capable of doing a lot of other things. Only when I decided to focus did I begin to reap the rewards of my talent. After you do that, you can begin to expand and use the other talents that you have. Deciding to keep your word, if you just decide, I'm going to keep my word, if I say something, I'm going to do it regardless, helps you grow. Being more considerate, more trusting, more disciplined, being less fearful, being more adventurous. Find something in your life that you can look at and say, hey, I know I've got a problem in this area, being late, procrastinating, not taking care of business, or not being serious. For instance, creating an imbalance in life where you're spending more time watching television or having social fun and not spending enough time working on yourself is a common issue. Most people, ladies and gentlemen, spend more time working on their jobs than they spend working on themselves. They work harder on their jobs than they work on their own personal development. Whatever we achieve in life, whatever we create, whatever we're able to manifest comes out of the human mind. Now, I want you to think about 5 things that, if you had the courage to do them, would give you a feeling of satisfaction and self-respect. Think of 5 things that, if you had the courage to do, would give you a tremendous sense of inner satisfaction and self-respect. Take the time to write those things down, whatever they might be to you. It might be in your personal life. It might be in your friendships, your family relationships, or your business. I was negotiating with a friend of mine whom I admire a great deal. This person went back on their agreement, and I did not challenge him on it. Number 1, because of my admiration for her, and number 2, because I really wanted the business. I think she sensed that. I didn't want to seem too picky, and I was nervous about it. I was cowardly because I should have said, listen, that's not what we agreed to. I should have called her out on that, but I didn't want to look bad, appear negative, or risk losing the business. Look at 5 things that, if you had the courage to do them, you would actually do. A lot of people say, well, I've been like this all my life. I just can't change. This is the way I am. Dr. Harold Griswold, a psychologist and author of Direct Decision Therapy, said something profound. When someone says, I can't change, some part of them wants to change. However, the payoffs for their present behavior are greater than the payoffs for a changed behavior, or their fear of change is too great. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes courage to live your dreams. It takes courage to manifest your greatness. It takes courage to decide to live, to decide to bring out all of your talents and abilities, to decide to stretch out and take a chance. It takes courage to be happy just to be you. I saw a friend I hadn't seen for a long time. Her whole personality had changed. She was an extroverted, assertive person, but because her husband has a fragile ego, when she's around him, she kowtows to him. She plays to him. She's very silent and doesn't express her feelings. There are many things she wants to do, but before she even decides what she wants to do, she checks herself. How will he handle this? How will he see this? Will this be disruptive in our relationship? A lot of us readjust our behavior and end up not being who we really are in deference to relationships, men and women alike. Looking at the word courage, Webster defines it as the attitude of facing and dealing with anything recognized as dangerous, difficult, or painful instead of withdrawing from it. As you begin to look at where you want to go and take personal inventory, it's going to be very uncomfortable. That's why most people don't do it. It's very painful to admit your shortcomings, to admit your weaknesses. It's much easier to withdraw from that and just ignore it. Webster goes on to say, the courage of one's convictions, the courage to do what one thinks is right. As you begin to look at yourself and where you want to go with your life, ask yourself this question: is what I'm doing right now giving me what I want? If it's not giving you what you want, it's going to take courage to decide to do something differently. It takes courage to enjoy yourself. What are some of the self-defeating behaviors that prevent most people from enjoying themselves? Some people develop a what's the use attitude. Why bother? Some people convince themselves, I don't care, and after a while they truly don't feel anything. Their lives become empty. Others say it's really not worth the hassle, it's just too hard. It doesn't bother me anymore, the fact that I'm not living out my dream, the fact that I'm capable of doing more and I'm not doing it, the fact that I'm content but not fulfilled, the fact that I'm not living my dream. Tom Rusk and Randy Reed, in their book One Want to Change But I Don't Know How, said people often go through life playing it safe. They hold on to a secret hope. If I never let myself feel too good, maybe I'll never get hurt too badly. A lot of people never do what they're capable of because they allow themselves to follow the crowd. Many people have things they want to do but find themselves in relationships with people who are addicted to mediocrity. They let those relationships influence their behavior. For years, I wanted to go into business. It was an agonizing thought. I wouldn't try because I didn't believe I could make it. Of the 5 things you'd like to do, if you had the courage to do them, pick one. Here's how to set it up for yourself to help free you and get you unstuck. What's the worst thing that can happen if you do it? What's the worst case scenario? Write those fears down. Naming your fears puts you in control. What are you afraid of? Name it. Write it out so you can look at it and confront that fear. What is it? I'm afraid that things might work out. What else, Les? Well, I've never been in business. Okay, what else, Les? Well, I don't have all the help I need. Okay, good. What else, Les? Well, I don't have enough money. All right, good. What else, Les? I don't have a college degree. Aha, what else? I'm not as good as those other guys that I've seen up there speaking. Okay, what else? Well, that's all I can think of right now. Okay, good. Now that takes you to the next step. What are the benefits? What are the benefits of your acting courageously and taking life on? Well, part of what happened was that I felt better within myself, and I had a strong sense of self-respect. Going into business for myself, I made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I was down on myself. I felt stupid. I felt dumb because people who were in business would say, "Why would you do something like that?" Well, I didn't know. Boy, were you really dumb. And I used to chime in with them, yes, I guess I was. I didn't know any better. But the other thing is, I had to say to myself, but I did it. I did it. Even if I made a flop of it, I did it. I took the chance. I took the leap. What are the benefits of your acting courageously? Whatever it is that you've identified, write the benefits down and then focus on them. Focus on the benefits, not on the liabilities, not on your fears. Focus on the benefits. That which you hold in consciousness tends to manifest itself. Think about how good you'll feel. Think about the increased level of self-respect, the sense of self-worth you'll feel. How good you'll feel getting up in the morning, looking yourself in the mirror because you're taking life on. The other thing is to acknowledge your fears and then go into action. There's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That's it. See, I believe anybody who's ever done anything, who's ever taken a chance, doesn't mean they're not afraid. Courageous does not mean the absence of fear. I think being courageous is being willing to do it because that's what you feel, and you're going to do it anyhow, regardless. You're not going to be immobilized by your fears or your doubts. You admit, okay, I'm scared to death. Now, what is it that I must choose to do? Go ahead and experience that fear, but don't let it immobilize you. What you've done with your life thus far, has it given you what you want? When you look toward the future, when you look at all that's going on out here, is there some place within yourself that you say, hey, I know I need to be out there in that arena. I know I can do more than what I've been doing. I know there's some great music that I have within me that I haven't brought out here yet. Is that something you begin to look at within yourself? I used to do that. I used to go to big rallies and see guys up there speaking when I wasn't courageous enough to go out there and say, hey, my name is Les Brown. The motivator made Brown's boy, and I want to talk. I would never do that. I'd just stand back, watching them, hoping to get their autograph. See, I say, if you look at your life and you're not getting what you want, you owe it to yourself to do something differently. If you're on a job, and 85% of Americans, they say, go to jobs they're unhappy with. If you're doing something 8 hours a day that you don't like, it's not giving you what you want. It's not giving you a strong feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment. You're miserable. You hate to go there. You're depressed just thinking about it. You sing the Thank God It's Friday song every week. It's giving you headaches just thinking about it on Sunday afternoon after the football game goes off. If that's what it is, you owe it to yourself to start strategically working to change directions. See, but you know what most people do? Most people will resist change. Most people will fight change as if change would be worse than what they're experiencing. See, they know this, they're familiar with this. Most people will not challenge the unknown. They won't just step out there. See, there are certain things that have got to be in place. They've got to see it all together. But life isn't like that. That's not how you grow. So, as you look at your life and you're saying, I'm not getting what I want, as you begin to look toward the future, begin to know that whatever it takes for you to create that, you've got that in you. You've got that. You've got genius in you. You've got goodness in you. You've got creativity in you. If you decide to take the initiative to change the current quality of your life, I say to you that you will find the universe is on your side. Life is on your side. Now, will it be turbulent? Yes. Will it be easy? No. Will you have some opposition? Yes. Will you make a lot of mistakes? Yes. Will you get hurt? Yes. See, a lot of people won't try anything different in life because they don't want to get hurt. Let me tell you something, it's too much pain to duck. Pain is everywhere. You can hide under here, but it'll come where you are. If I go back there, pain will come. Hey, Les, come on out. It will come. It's everywhere. Viktor Frankl calls it unavoidable suffering. You can't duck it. But most people spend their lives not wanting to deal with the pain of rejection, the pain of defeat, the pain of being disappointed, the pain of losing, the pain of failure, the pain of being criticized, the pain of not being liked. The pain, the pain, the pain. That's called life. Life is full of pain. It's everywhere. But guess what? There's no gain without pain.